Hey, welcome back everybody once again to Harley Day Rider, your good old friend HDR. Out here once again on a ride to work. And I told Mrs. HDR this morning, now, I'm going to use a word in here that I don't normally use, but it'll make sense to you. I told Mrs. HDR this morning, I said, I finally did it, hon. She said, what's that? I said, I finally sunk to the terminology that we use at work, batshit crazy. And she said, what? I said, you know, you try to triangulate all the temperatures. So what I did was, and it's really cool, you might want to check this out. WeatherBug, which, you know, WeatherBug for years has been riddled with spyware, and, you know, everybody hated WeatherBug, but WeatherBug is what it is. I knew that we had a WeatherBug station on the top of our local school. So I looked at that temperature, and I knew that we had a WeatherBug on the top of the school I work at. So I also looked at that temperature. And then I looked at the temperature on my watch. Now here's the thing, when you're looking at your temperatures, try to realize where the probe is, you know, the temperature probe. It's probably the best bet, I would say, out of everything, is to have one at your house. And I told Mrs. HDR that this morning, because then when I go to leave, I know exactly what the temperature is I'm going to be, you know, riding into. So my watch and my phone was showing 42 degrees. Now I have to believe that's at the Pittsburgh weather station, which is probably, give or take, 20 miles from our house, roughly. Now, with that said, I checked out the school, the local school, and it was showing me 48. Well, that made me feel better, right? Still cold, but made me feel better. And then I checked out the school where I work, and its temperature was showing on WeatherBug as being 50. Now you're at the point where I ride. You know, I said 50 degrees is usually my cutoff. Well, today I've learned that that cutoff just went lower. The cutoff now is probably 45 to 47 degrees I can ride. My hands are still, you know, getting cold. I told you, it's just, and I told Mrs. HDR last night, I said, I checked at houseofharley.com and for heated grips, you know, and for the price, but, and everybody swears by them that gets them. But if I could keep my hands warmer, I could probably ride even colder. I do have all the freeze-out gear on this morning. I got the hood on, the pants, the shirt, and I put the booties on this morning for my feet. Even though I got those soft lowers down there, if you can see that, you know, just maximum protection of your feet, because if you get your feet to stay warmer, you know, your body's going to be a little warmer. Same with the head. If you don't let the heat go outside of your head, then, you know, your body's going to stay warmer. But I just would love to get something for my hands, and I can't find, and I know you guys have recommended, but winter gloves. And I think it's because motorcyclists don't ride in the winter, so why would they produce a winter glove? That would be a great invention. Maybe I'll make a winter glove. I know some of you, I think it was Stoney, NC Stoney, talked about electric heated gloves, and that may be an option, because I just can't stand my hands being cold. I mean, there's nothing I could do with them. And the glove must be pretty darn cold, because I stuck it under my crotch, even though I got all this stuff on, and like, my crotch was getting colder. It was like putting an ice cube under there. It's like, what the heck? So, I mean, it did help, though. I mean, it loosened it up a little bit. But it is what it is, right? It's like, today's going to be 72 degrees is the high today, so... And we've talked about that in the past. You know, sometimes you got to pay the piper in the morning, so you get that nice, you know, leisurely ride home. And I'm sure it'll be a wonderful ride. But when I left the house, it was funny, because I left the house and I picked my shield up a little bit, because naturally it's fogging up like crazy, right? When I did that, I could see my own breath coming out of my mouth. And I used to think when I was getting out of my car at work, if you can see your breath, you probably shouldn't ride a motorcycle. But here I am. And I think the inspiration to this whole saga of me riding when it's this cold has to be Mike Killy 7. So thanks Mike Killy 7 for making HDR batshit crazy. But yeah, I mean, he rides to work. I mean, it's cold, and he's, you know, he's taking his bike. But Mrs. HDR comes back with, "You'll be fine. Don't worry about it. You'll get there. You'll be okay, you know, and you can warm up and have some coffee when you get to work." And she's right. So I turned it around on Mrs. HDR. I said, "Look, hon," I said, "I bought you freeze-out gear, so would you throw it on to ride with me this morning?" She goes, "Hell no. Are you out of your mind?" So how can I be fine, but she's not going to be fine? She said, "Because you love motorcycling and you're in it to win it." And I think that's truly what it is. There's some deer. But I think that's truly it. You know, if you're in it to win it, you're going to get more use out of your motorcycle. You're going to ride it, you know, even in marginal weather. But I don't know. So if you watched my last video, I talked about spring has not sprung, right? I don't know where spring's at around here, but tomorrow morning is supposed to be nicer. It's supposed to be like 50 or 60 in the morning, so it'll be a better ride to work. But they're calling for rain. They say definite on Friday. Tomorrow's Wednesday, so I think we should be safe tomorrow. The only reason I don't like riding my bike in the rain, to be honest with you, is I don't like getting it dirty. I don't mind throwing on a wetsuit and riding a motorcycle. That's not a big deal to me, but I hate getting the motorcycle all spotted up and dirty, but that's part of life, I guess. You know, it's not really so much the rider. I mean, you're going to get caught in rain sooner or later. If you read my blog post this morning, I talk about the importance of saddlebags. So if you check out HarleyDayRider.com, you'll see that blog post on there this morning. If you don't want to check for the blog post, just follow my Facebook page, Harley Day Rider. So I guess it's facebook.com/HarleyDayRider. And what I do is, when I do a blog post or something, I put it on there, so that way you'll be alerted quicker that there's something new on the blog that you could read if you're so into that. But other than that, I am on my way to work this morning. We're going to see what's going to go on today. I got some stuff that I got to get done. I mean, it's very important. Of course, every day is very important. Henry asked me today, he called me yesterday and said, "Are you taking a sick day tomorrow? It's going to be really nice." And I said, "I can't take a sick day. I got to save my vacation days for vacation." I said, "What the heck?" And yeah, he's like, "Can you take a sick day?" I'm like, "No." And I told Miss HR, I don't need to take time off work to ride. There's going to be plenty of time to ride motorcycles. You know, we'll have a lot of good days this year, I'm sure. Eventually, it will warm up. I mean, just to be riding now, I mean, you know, getting back on the bike and riding to work, that's a big plus. Alright everybody, I don't want to keep you there. I've been tending to run my videos a little bit too long, and I've been trying to be careful of that. Take care. We'll talk to you next time. Harley Day Rider. It's going to be down and out in the frigid cold weather. Cold morning of 40. We're going to mark it at 47 degrees this morning. Southwestern Pennsylvania. Bye-bye for now.